What if the secret to a calmer, more powerful life wasn't found in some guru's TED Talk, but in a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old? Imagine rewiring your mornings not with stress and rushing, but with clarity, control, and purpose, just like a Stoic. And what if I told you that mastering your mornings could be the first step to mastering your mind, your money, and even your happiness? Welcome back to the Stoic Saga, your go-to place for practical self-mastery rooted in ancient wisdom. In today's episode, we're continuing our powerful self-development series. If you're new to the channel or missed earlier chapters, don't worry. There's a full playlist waiting for you at the end of this video, so you can catch up and dive deep. But let's be clear. What we're exploring here isn't just educational content. These are life tools. Timeless practices meant to guide your daily decisions, sharpen your mindset, and ground you in purpose. So, before we dive in, take a second to subscribe so you never miss a beat. If you're already enjoying the journey, show some love by hitting that like button and dropping a keep it up in the comments. Now let's address the elephant in the room. We're not just here to discuss some dusty old philosophy, we're here to live it. This video is your roadmap to applying Stoicism as a real-life cheat code for navigating modern chaos. We'll explore how to reframe your relationship with money, find deeper purpose in your daily routines, and train your mind to focus on what truly matters. Questions like, can money really buy happiness? Or, how do we enjoy the journey? Not, just chase the destination, will be right at the center of today's conversation, and we'll learn directly from the minds of the greats. As Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. That's the kind of mindset we're aiming to build. So, if you're ready to declutter your mind, simplify your life, and unlock the power of Stoic wisdom, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and let's embark on this journey together. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Lesson 1. A morning ritual, your daily dose of awesome. Let's start at the beginning, not just any beginning, but the one that sets the tone for everything else. Your morning. Now, we're not talking about the usual frantic rush fueled by caffeine and stress. We're talking about an intentional, mindful morning ritual that launches your day with clarity and calm. Let's face it, most of us fall into the snooze button trap. We hit snooze one too many times, wake up groggy and stressed, and scramble to get out the door. If breakfast even happens, it's usually on the go, and we're already behind before the day's really begun. But what if we flipped the script? What if your mornings became sacred space? A time to nourish your body, sharpen your mind, and set the tone for everything that follows. The philosopher's approach. Ancient thinkers knew the power of mornings. Aristotle, for instance, saw those early hours as critical. He believed in starting the day with movement, quiet contemplation, and focused study, habits that align the body and mind for success. So how can you build a modern morning ritual inspired by ancient wisdom? Rise and shine, mindfully ditch the snooze. Instead, try waking at the same time every day, including weekends. This simple shift can stabilize your body's sleep-wake rhythm. As you open your eyes, take a few deep breaths, stretch slowly, and set a clear intention for the day. Even just 60 seconds of calm can change everything. Hydrate and nourish your body wakes up dehydrated. Start with a full glass of water, then fuel up with a healthy breakfast. Skip the sugary cereals and go for something balanced, protein, good fats, and complex carbs. This gives your brain and body sustainable energy to start strong. Move your body. Even light movement in the morning gets your blood flowing and your energy rising. Whether it's stretching, a walk, or a quick workout, get moving and shake off the mental fog. With just a few intentional habits, you can transform your morning from a chaotic scramble into a powerful daily reset. But that's just the first piece of the puzzle. Before we move forward, let's quickly remind ourselves where we left off. In the previous section, we talked about designing a powerful morning ritual, one that energizes your body, focuses your mind, and sets the tone for an intentional day. Now, let's complete that ritual by adding the final touches. Feed your mind. Your mind needs nourishment just as much as your body does. Instead of diving straight into emails or scrolling social media, carve out a few quiet minutes for your mental clarity. Whether it's reading a few pages from a book, journaling your thoughts, or practicing a short meditation, these simple habits can ground your mind and bring in a wave of calm focus. As Marcus Aurelius so beautifully put it, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. What better way to start your day than with that reminder? Plan your day. Once your mind is clear and centered, spend a few moments reviewing your schedule, prioritize your tasks, set your top 3 goals, and break larger jobs into manageable steps. This practice doesn't just reduce overwhelm, it builds momentum. With a plan in place, you move through your day with intention rather than reaction. Real world examples. So how does all this play out in real life? Let's take a peek behind the curtain of people who've made mindful mornings their superpower. The CEO's morning meditation. Many high-performing CEOs begin their day with meditation. Even just 10 minutes of stillness helps them reduce stress, gain clarity, and make decisions with a calm, focused mind. The artist's morning pages. Writers and creatives often use a tool called morning pages. 3 pages of free flow, stream of consciousness, writing done first thing in the morning. It's not about perfect grammar. It's about unlocking mental clutter and igniting creativity. The athlete's early workout. Top athletes swear by early morning training. Whether it's lifting weights, hitting the track, or practicing their sport, this morning discipline energizes them and sharpens their focus for the day ahead. The bottom line. Your morning ritual isn't about cramming more into an already busy schedule. It's about carving out a sacred window for yourself, a protected time to align with your purpose, gather your strength, and prepare your mind for the day's challenges. Think of it like building a launch pad, steady, stable, and powerful. As the saying goes, win the morning, win the day. So experiment, adjust, try different things until you find what works for you. Your mind, body, and soul will thank you for it. In the previous section, we explored how a simple end-of-day reflection can serve as your daily mental detox, helping you grow, learn, and reset. Now, let's complete that process by asking the key question. What small changes can I make tomorrow to be just a little bit better than today? Reflections that move you forward. Reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about identifying meaningful steps forward. After you've replayed the highlights and setbacks of your day, try to pinpoint 1 or 2 small, actionable changes you can make. This could be something as simple as setting a new personal goal, trying out a new habit, or simply being more mindful of how you speak, think, or react in daily situations. Don't underestimate the power of a small shift. Remember the old saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That single step might be journaling for 5 minutes tomorrow, choosing water over soda, or taking a deep breath before responding in a heated moment. Real-world examples. Let's bring this to life with a few real-world scenarios. The journaling CEO. Many successful CEOs swear by the power of daily journaling. It's not just a productivity tool. It's a self-awareness practice. They use it to capture thoughts, reflect on key moments, and track progress toward long-term goals. Over time, this builds clarity and consistent growth. The mindful athlete. High-level athletes often include visualization and mental rehearsal in their evening routine. They reflect on their performance, what went well, what could improve, and mentally prepare for what's next. It's not just physical training that counts. mindset training is just as important. The grateful parent. Some parents turn bedtime into a moment of quiet reflection with their children, asking them what went well today, what they're thankful for, and what they learned. These small conversations create a habit of gratitude and emotional awareness that can last a lifetime. The bottom line, the day in review isn't about beating yourself up or obsessing over what went wrong. It's about gently learning from your experience, celebrating your wins, and making small, consistent tweaks that add up to big change over time. As the philosopher Heraclitus wisely said, the only constant in life is change. By embracing that truth and using reflection as a tool, we can ride life's ups and downs with more resilience, more grace, and maybe even a bit more wisdom. Previously, we challenged the common belief that more money equals more happiness. We looked at how redefining wealth through gratitude, wise spending, and giving can help us escape the money trap. Now, let's take a closer look at how this plays out in real life. Real-world examples. When money serves meaning. Let's explore how people from different walks of life are redefining what it means to be truly wealthy. The minimalist millionaire. Surprisingly, many highly successful entrepreneurs and investors have chosen to live simply. Instead of chasing material possessions, they invest in experiences, relationships, and purpose-driven living. These individuals have discovered that real wealth isn't about having more stuff. It's about living a life that feels aligned and meaningful. The charitable billionaire. Take Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, for example. Despite their enormous fortunes, both have pledged to give away the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. Why? Because they understand that money is a tool, not a goal in itself. For them, using money to make a difference in the world is the highest form of wealth. The happy camper. And you don't need to be a millionaire to live a rich life. In fact, research shows that once basic needs are met, additional income has less and less impact on overall happiness. People who prioritize experiences over possessions, invest in relationships, and focus on personal growth often report greater life satisfaction than those fixated solely on building wealth. The bottom line, money in itself is neutral. It's neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool. The key lies in how we choose to use it. When we shift our mindset, when we redefine wealth, practice gratitude, spend with intention, and give back, we begin to break free from the endless cycle of desire and accumulation. In doing so, we create a life that's not just financially stable, but emotionally and spiritually fulfilling. As the philosopher Henry David Thoreau put it so beautifully, wealth is the ability to fully experience life. In our last lesson, we explored the power of going beyond surface-level thinking, pushing ourselves to seek depth, not just data. Now, let's uncover how deep understanding can actually spark real change, not only in our personal lives, but also in the world around us. Creativity and innovation. When we truly grasp the heart of a problem, not just its symptoms, we open the door to creative, meaningful solutions. Deep understanding isn't just about absorbing information, it's about transforming it into something new. As the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman once said, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. In other words, real insight begins when we stop taking things at face value and start questioning even our own beliefs. Real-world examples. Living the deep dive. Let's look at how this mindset plays out in action. The investigative journalist. Great journalists don't settle for headlines or press releases. They dig beneath the surface to expose hidden truths, challenge systems, and shine light where there's darkness. Their commitment to uncovering facts, no matter how buried, helps hold those in power accountable and keeps the public informed. The scientists don't just follow existing theories. They question them. They design experiments, collect data, and often challenge what's widely accepted. Their deep pursuit of knowledge leads to medical breakthroughs, technological advances, and greater understanding of the universe we live in. The lifelong learner. Then there are those who, regardless of age or career, never stop learning. They read voraciously, attend talks, sign up for courses, and engage with people from all walks of life. These individuals are constantly expanding their perspective, challenging their assumptions, and growing wiser over time. How to push for deep understanding. Your mental scuba gear. So how do we dive beneath the surface in our own lives? Here are a few tools to help you develop that deeper awareness. Ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask, even if it feels basic. Every great discovery starts with a curious mind. The more you ask why, how, and what else, the more you uncover layers of meaning and connection. Challenge assumptions. It's easy to accept information that fits our current worldview, but true growth begins when we question it. Be skeptical of surface-level answers, double-check your sources, and even challenge your own habits of thought. Why do I believe this? Is it really true? Could there be another way to look at it? Pushing for deep understanding isn't just a mental exercise. It's a way of seeing the world. It sharpens your thinking, expands your empathy, and can even lead to the kind of innovation that changes lives. In the last section, we talked about pushing for deep understanding, asking more questions, challenging assumptions, and taking the time to connect the dots. Now, let's complete that thought by exploring the mindset and habits that help you truly see the world in all its depth and complexity. Seek out diverse perspectives. Growth doesn't happen in an echo chamber. One of the most powerful things you can do is intentionally expose yourself to ideas that differ from your own. Read authors from different cultures, talk to people with opposing views, and, most importantly, listen without immediately trying to argue back. When you engage in respectful dialogue and stay open to changing your mind, you build wisdom, not just opinions. Connect the dots. Don't just memorize isolated facts. Ask yourself, how does this connect to what I already know? Look for patterns, causes, and relationships between ideas. When you start linking concepts together, you move beyond surface knowledge and begin to understand how the world really works. Be patient. Here's the truth. Deep understanding doesn't come overnight. It takes time, curiosity, and consistent effort. It's not about cramming facts into your brain. It's about building an intuitive, layered comprehension of complex ideas. Think of your mind like a garden. You don't just toss in seeds and expect instant blooms. You water, you wait, and you keep nurturing. The bottom line: pushing for deep understanding isn't just for academics, scientists, or philosophers. It's a skill anyone can develop, and, in today's noisy, fast-paced world, it's more essential than ever. As Aristotle wisely said, the ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation, rather than upon mere survival. So, dive deep, question more, stay curious, and most of all, never stop learning. In the last section, we explored how chasing external validation, trophies, titles, applause, often leaves us feeling empty. So now, let's go deeper and ask, what actually brings lasting fulfillment, like a sugar rush, that fleeting thrill of approval or accomplishment? It's kind of like a sugar rush. It feels amazing in the moment, but it fades fast. And when we rely too heavily on praise or recognition from others, we can quickly spiral into stress, anxiety, or even burnout. As the philosopher Epicurus so wisely said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In other words, true happiness doesn't come from chasing more, it comes from needing less. And that shift begins within. The power of intrinsic motivation. So, what's the alternative to external chasing? It's tapping into your intrinsic motivation, that internal spark that fuels you, not because someone's watching, but because it feels right. It's the joy of growing, learning, and contributing to something bigger than yourself. As psychologist, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi put it, the best moments in our lives are not the passive, relaxing ones. They come when body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. So how do we make that shift, away from the spotlight and toward inner fire? Define your values. What really matters to you? Not what society says should matter, what you believe in. Take time to reflect on your core values, your principles, your beliefs, the kind of person you want to be, and the legacy you want to leave. Set meaningful goals. Don't chase goals just because they look good on paper. Set goals that align with your values and passions, goals that light a fire in your chest, challenge you, and make you excited to jump out of bed. That's when real motivation kicks in. Embrace the journey, yes, outcomes matter, but don't let them blind you to the beauty of the path. Learn from setbacks, celebrate small wins, and enjoy the twists and turns along the way. After all, isn't it in the messy middle where we often grow the most? As the saying goes, life is a journey, not a destination. Find your flow is that magical state where you're so engaged in what you're doing, everything else fades away. Time disappears. Distractions melt. You're fully present, fully alive. It's the sweet spot between challenge and skill, where you're pushing your limits but not drowning in pressure. Whether it's painting, coding, playing music, solving problems, or even gardening, find what puts you in that zone and make space for it. Real-world examples. Living with intrinsic drive. Let's see how this looks in real life. The artist who paints for passion. Some artists don't chase fame or fortune. They paint, sketch, or sculpt simply because it brings them joy. The act of creation itself is the reward. They express their inner world, explore ideas, and stretch their creativity, not for applause, but for personal fulfillment. When we stop performing for others and start living from within, everything changes. Fulfillment becomes possible, not because of what we achieve, but because of who we become in the process. Previously, we explored the idea that the only prize worth chasing is the one that comes from within, a life rooted in purpose, values, and passion. Now, let's look at how that principle shows up in everyday life, through the quiet power of those who live it. Real-world examples. Living from within, the scientist who seeks knowledge. Many scientists are fueled not by fame or financial gain, but by an insatiable curiosity. They're driven by a desire to understand the world, solve mysteries, and contribute to the greater good. For them, fulfillment lies in discovery, in the pursuit of truth and the joy of expanding human understanding, one insight at a time. The volunteer who serves others. Then there are those who dedicate their time, energy, and skills to help others, asking for nothing in return. Volunteers in shelters, hospitals, classrooms, or disaster zones often say the act of giving brings them a deeper sense of purpose than anything money could buy. Their reward, knowing they've made someone's life just a little bit better. The bottom line. At the end of the day, the only prize that truly matters isn't a gold medal, a paycheck, or a pat on the back. It's the quiet, steady fulfillment of living a life that aligns with your values. It's showing up for what you believe in, pursuing what sets your soul on fire, and making a positive impact, even in small ways. As the philosopher Confucius once said, "The superior man understands what is right. The inferior man understands what will sell." So, forget the podium. Let go of the applause. Embrace the journey. And focus on the things that truly matter. In the last section, we introduced the idea of using a mantra, a simple yet powerful phrase, as a personal tool for resilience and focus. Now, let's explore how mantras work in practice and why they can be so transformative in daily life. A mental reset button. Sometimes, life gets noisy, your thoughts are racing, distractions are everywhere, and it's hard to concentrate. A mantra acts like a reset button for your mind. By repeating a grounding phrase, you quiet the mental clutter and bring your attention back to what matters most. It's like tuning a blurry radio signal until the station comes through crystal clear. Positive affirmation. When you repeat a positive affirmation consistently, you're sending a clear message to your subconscious. This is what I believe. This is who I am becoming. Over time, your brain starts to internalize that message. The result? A genuine shift in mindset and a more empowered, optimistic outlook on life. Emotional regulation. Feeling stressed? Overwhelmed? Anxious? Mantras can serve as anchors in the emotional storm. A calming phrase repeated slowly. I am calm. I am safe. I can handle this. Can actually help soothe your nervous system and restore emotional balance. It's like giving your mind a warm blanket in the middle of chaos. Motivation and inspiration. On days when energy runs low or challenges feel insurmountable, your mantra becomes your rallying cry. It reminds you of your goals, your purpose, and the strength already inside you. With the right words, you can reignite your inner fire and keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Real-world examples, mantras in action. The athlete's mantra. Many athletes use short, empowering phrases to sharpen focus and push through mental or physical fatigue. Think, I am strong, I've got this, or one more rep. These words aren't just hype, they're a tool for endurance, clarity, and confidence. The entrepreneur's mantra, building something from scratch isn't easy. Entrepreneurs often turn to mantras to keep their spirits high when facing setbacks or uncertainty. They remind themselves, I'm building something meaningful, or every challenge is shaping my success. These affirmations help keep the vision alive. The everyday hero's mantra. You don't have to be on a stage or in a stadium to benefit from a mantra. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, a student, or simply someone trying to show up every day with intention, you can create your own mantra. Something simple like, I am present. I choose progress. I have what it takes. These small phrases can make a big difference in how you show up for your life. So whether you whisper it during a morning walk, repeat it before a big meeting, or hold on to it during tough times, your mantra can be a steady voice when the world feels loud. In our last lesson, we explored how a simple mantra, like I am enough or I am grateful, can become your daily dose of strength and clarity. Now, let's take it a step further and learn how to create your own personal mantra, your custom-made phrase of power. How to create your own mantra, your personal power. Choose a phrase that resonates. Start by choosing a mantra that speaks directly to your heart. It should be something that moves you, centers you, and reminds you of your strength or purpose. It could be a quote from a favorite philosopher, a line from a song that lifts your spirits, or a simple affirmation you create from scratch, something like, "I am resilient," or "Peace begins with me." The key? It must feel like you. Keep it short and sweet. Your mantra should be easy to remember and repeat. A few meaningful words are all you need. Think of it like a verbal anchor, something you can turn to in stressful moments or whenever you need to reset your mindset. The simpler, the better. Repeat it regularly. Mantras gain their strength through repetition. The more you repeat it, the more it becomes embedded in your subconscious. Try working it into your routine. Say it during your morning meditation, while brushing your teeth, while walking, or whenever you're facing a challenge. With time, it becomes a mental reflex, gently guiding your thoughts back to clarity. A mantra isn't just a nice phrase, it's a daily practice. It's a powerful tool for self-empowerment, focus, and emotional resilience. By choosing your own and using it regularly, you begin to reshape your thoughts, rewire your inner dialogue, and reinforce a sense of purpose and calm. As the philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." In our last lesson, we talked about training the self, working on your desires, your actions, and your thoughts as a daily path to growth. But here's the thing, you don't have to walk that path alone. Some of the best lessons in life come from those who've already been there. Lesson 8. Watching the wise. Your all-access pass to the School of Life Alright, folks. Grab your mental notebook and put on your learning caps, because we're about to tap into some serious life wisdom. And no, we're not talking about dry textbooks or boring lectures, though those have their time and place. We're talking about something deeper, the practical, time-tested wisdom that comes from observing those who've already walked the path of self-mastery. The ones who have stumbled, reflected, grown, and left a trail of insight behind for us to follow. The OG mentors, ancient wisdom that still hits hard. Think about the great minds, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. These weren't just armchair philosophers lounging around pondering abstract ideas. They lived what they taught. They paid attention to the world, reflected on human nature, tested their ideas in conversation and community, and then passed that hard-earned wisdom down through their writings, their students, and their way of life. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. This is what it means to watch the wise, to learn not just from books, but from real people, real experiences, and real lives. Why should we watch the wise? Accelerated learning. Why start from scratch when others have already done the trial and error for you? By studying those who figured it out, or at least moved a few steps ahead, we can skip unnecessary pitfalls and fast-track our own growth. Think of it like a cheat code for life. Mentorship, modeling, and observation all rolled into one. You get to borrow their wisdom without carrying all their bruises. Expanded perspective. We all walk around with our own filters, our assumptions, habits, and mental blind spots. Watching the wise helps widen that view. By seeing how others think, act, and respond to challenges, we begin to see beyond our own default patterns. It's like stepping outside your own story for a moment and realizing the world and your place in it is far more flexible than you thought. So whether it's a Stoic philosopher, a modern-day mentor, or even a wise friend in your circle, pay attention. Watch how they move through life, how they respond to failure, how they carry themselves through uncertainty. Because sometimes the most powerful lessons aren't taught, they're lived. Understanding the world. upgrading your mental software. Learning from those who have walked the path before us doesn't just give us facts, it rewires how we think. It's like upgrading your mental software. The more perspectives you absorb, the sharper your critical thinking becomes, and the more clearly you begin to see the patterns that shape the world around you. Inspiration and motivation. There's something powerful about witnessing someone else rise, overcoming hardship, pushing through doubt, and creating a meaningful life. It lights a fire inside us. When we see what's possible for others, we begin to believe it's possible for us too. It's like having a personal cheering squad, standing in the wings whispering, "You've got this." Real-world examples, how watching the wise shows up in everyday life. The mentored entrepreneur. Many successful business leaders didn't get there alone. They were guided, challenged, and supported by mentors, people who shared their hard-won lessons and helped them avoid costly missteps. These mentors didn't just offer advice, they modeled resilience, discipline, and vision. That kind of influence is priceless. The inspired artist. Painters, writers, musicians, creatives of all kinds, often draw energy from the works of those who came before them. They study techniques, absorb different styles, and observe how others expressed deep truths through their craft. That knowledge doesn't stifle their originality, it fuels it. The everyday role model. You don't need to be a best-selling author or a historical figure to make an impact. Sometimes, the most powerful examples come from people close to us. A parent who leads with quiet strength, a teacher who listens deeply, or a friend who lives with purpose. Wisdom is everywhere. You just have to be watching. Who do you admire? What qualities do they possess that you'd like to develop in yourself? Integrity, courage, patience, creativity. Make a list of these people, whether they're public figures or someone from your own life. Then start observing how they move through the world. Immerse yourself in their world. Read their books, watch their interviews, listen to their podcasts, or follow them on social media. Pay close attention not just to what they say, but how they live. Notice their routines, their mindset, how they respond to setbacks. Every detail can hold a lesson. If you have the chance, reach out to someone you respect and ask for guidance. It doesn't have to be formal. A coffee chat or a thoughtful message can open the door. A mentor can offer you perspective, accountability, and encouragement in ways no article or video ever could. Don't just consume content, use it. After learning from someone, ask yourself, how does this apply to my life? What could I do differently tomorrow because of what I've learned today? Real growth happens when wisdom turns into action. Watching the wise doesn't mean blindly copying someone else's life. It means learning from their insights, their struggles, and their breakthroughs. It means opening yourself up to perspective, applying that wisdom in your own way, and finding the inspiration to live life with more intention. As Confucius once said, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is bitterest. So why wait for bitter lessons when someone else's story might hold the key to your next breakthrough? In the last section, we began exploring how simplicity can be a superpower, clearing away the noise so we can focus on what truly matters. Now let's dive into some practical ways to declutter not just our homes, but our habits, our minds, and our digital lives. Say no more. Often, one of the biggest sources of mental clutter, saying yes to things that don't align with what we really want. Social obligations, extra work, favors we didn't have the heart to decline. It adds up. Learning to say no is an act of self-respect. As author Greg McKeown put it, if it isn't a hell yes, it's a no. So the next time you're invited to something you feel lukewarm about, give yourself permission to politely decline and protect your energy for what truly matters. Streamline. Your digital life, your digital world can be just as messy as your physical one. if not more. Cluttered inboxes, endless scrolls, notification overload. Sound familiar? Start by unsubscribing from newsletters you never read. Unfollow social media accounts that no longer inspire or serve you. Set screen time boundaries to keep your time online intentional, not reactive. Digital minimalist Cal Newport sums it up perfectly. Digital minimalism is a philosophy of technology use in which you focus your online time on a small number of carefully selected and optimized activities that strongly support things you value, then happily miss out on everything else. Focus on the essentials at the end of the day. What truly matters to you? Is it your health, your family, your creativity, your peace of mind? Take a moment to list your top priorities, then audit your time and energy. Are your daily choices aligned with those priorities? As Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Sometimes happiness doesn't require more, just less, done with more purpose. Real-world examples. Simplicity in action. The capsule wardrobe. Some people are embracing the idea of a capsule wardrobe, a minimal collection of essential, versatile clothing, fewer choices, less time deciding, more mental space. It simplifies mornings and eliminates decision fatigue. The weekly meal plan. Planning your meals in advance can save hours of stress, reduce grocery costs, and help you make healthier choices. It's a small act that creates big results in peace and productivity. The tech-free weekend. Ever tried a full weekend without screens? Many people find it profoundly refreshing. Disconnecting from the digital world allows you to reconnect with yourself, your loved ones, and the natural rhythms of life. Simplifying your life doesn't mean giving things up. It means choosing intentionally. It's not about deprivation. It's about focus, purpose, clarity. As the poet T.S. Eliot once wrote, "Where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information?" By cutting through the clutter, mental, digital, physical, we create room for joy, creativity, and meaning. We make space for life to breathe. All right, Stoic fam, we've covered a lot of ground together today, from mastering your mornings to minimizing your mental clutter, from harnessing mantras to learning from ancient wisdom. But here's the truth. Stoicism isn't just something you listen to, it's something you live. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. So ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to create? Who do I want to become? Start small. Pick just one principle that resonated with you today. Maybe it's building a mindful morning routine, clearing your physical space, or choosing a mantra that empowers you. Whatever it is, commit, practice it, repeat it. Watch how it begins to shift your habits, your mindset, and eventually, your life. Because the Stoic path isn't about being perfect, it's about progress. It's about showing up every day to become a better version of yourself, step by step, choice by choice. So go out there and live your Stoic life. Embrace the challenges, learn from the stumbles, keep growing, and always remember, you're not walking this road alone. We're on this journey together. Now go forth and conquer.